11:18 in the morning. It's time now for the Roundtable Squares, or the Square Table Round. So joining us in the newsroom is Democratic political analyst Marianne Marsh, Republican political analyst Ginny Buckingham. Great to have you with us, guys. Thanks.
Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being with us. Tomorrow, Governor Baker finally announces how he's going to slowly reopen Massachusetts. Now, after his repeated warnings, how much do you think our daily lives are really going to change? Let's start with you, Marianne.
I think slowly is the key word there, Wu. The fact is, Charlie Baker sort of hinted at what's going to happen. And the fact is, you can't make up for lost time fighting the COVID pandemic, and you can't make up for opening up too fast with the death and destruction that would ensue. So number one, he emphasized work from home. You read the Globe story this morning. If you're not ready for that and working in an office building, stay home. Number two, when you listen to Marty Walsh, who decided he's not going to lift the stay-at-home sanction or the curfew, not only next week, but in the foreseeable future, that's hint number two. Last but not least, Somerville. Somerville's canceled all of its public events through the end of the year, and they're the most densely populated city in New England. So I think this is going to be a lot less than many people think, and that's the right thing to do.
Ginny, do you agree that it's unlikely that our lives are going to change very much in the next few weeks here?
I mean, I think slowly, but hopefully surely. And if Governor Baker can't offer certainty, it would be helpful if he offered hope when he talks tomorrow. Let's outline very specifically what is going to happen, when he hopes it will happen. It may not come to fruition. And then give us a sense of why he's going so slow, which is so that we don't deal with this again in the fall. I think people will understand and they'll abide by his recommendations, but you got to really be very specific and offer some hope.
Ginny and Marianne, you get high marks, by the way, for fighting through. We're a working newsroom that they are in the middle of, and we're getting squawks on our what we call the squawk box. So great job. All right, you heard Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley this morning on mail-in voting. Let's consider that mail-in voting is already in place in most swing states deciding the presidential election and the makeup of the Senate. Does it really matter what happens here? Ginny, let me start with you.
I mean, every vote matters, and while we haven't mattered in a general presidential election in a long time in Massachusetts, we have local elections where it matters. She's impressive, but I was disappointed on a couple of fronts. You can't mail 2 ballots to every independent voter. What kind of security does that lay out? I think that's a really bad idea. Also, I was really disappointed in the notion of laying markers down in this HEROES bill that the House passed in a partisan fashion. This isn't a time to lay markers down. This is a time to work together in a bipartisan way to help people and help businesses.
If you want to protect democracy, and it's a matter of protecting votes. That is the great equalizer in our country. My vote matters just as much as the wealthiest person, the most powerful person in the world. If you want to understand how you end up with Donald Trump in the White House in a pandemic, this is how you do it. So California has 21 million voters, and they're mailing everybody a ballot, and they have a primary like in June. New Jersey now announced this past week they're sending ballots with prepaid envelopes to their 6 million voters, including a Democratic ballot and a Republican ballot to independent voters. Massachusetts has 4 million voters. Come on. I hear all day long how hard it is, how it can't be done. There's nothing more important than making sure that every single vote counts, no matter where you live, where you work, what you do, and making sure they're secure, because that's how we ended up in this mess. So let's do vote by mail here. Last point, Donald Trump said the thing out loud. He said in an interview last week, if you do vote by mail, you'll never elect another Republican again, and that includes him.
This next question is about 2 politicians. They're both Republicans, but they are in complete opposites in many ways, especially listen to this.
It could be the testing's frankly overrated. Maybe it is overrated. But
Governor Charlie Baker, however, says testing and contact tracing are the escape routes from this pandemic. Can Baker achieve his goal without White House assistance? Let's start with you, Ginny.
Well, sounds like he might have to, and he's been doing that so far, and a lot of states are doing that, and sometimes that is what happens in a crisis. You learn your way, and in this sense, we've learned that the federal government wasn't equipped to help us when they needed to, and Governor Baker has done what he can, and he'll continue to do so. Testing and tracing is the way out of this.
Yeah, we've had to do everything without Donald Trump, who hasn't lifted a finger for Massachusetts and a whole lot of other places, which tells you it's deliberate and destructive, and that should tell you everything. So credit to Charlie Baker, Marty Walsh, every mayor, every elected official in Massachusetts who has helped fight this. But we have to test people, we have to trace them so we can treat them, isolate them, and give confidence back to people on the health front so we can fix our economy too. They go hand in hand. So we're on this on our own, and you know what? I'm fine with that because we don't need any of them.
I want to play a little what-if political game. So Governor Baker was also asked this week about filling Senator Elizabeth Warren's seat if Joe Biden picks her for vice president or a member, if he wins, and a member of his administration, or, you know, that's the if game. But Massachusetts Democrats are again trying to change the rules to ensure that a Democrat does get that seat, despite the fact that the governor is a Republican. Ginny, let me start with you. Will this fly, and is it right?
Well, first of all, that's a lot of ifs.
I know, right? It is. Fair point.
We're a long way from Elizabeth Warren being picked as the running mate. Look, they changed the rules back in 2004 when Mitt Romney was governor. They changed them in other ways when there were other governors. And ultimately, they're going to do what they want to do. And Governor Baker is staying focused on the task at hand and not getting too caught up in the nonsense politics of the day.
Marianne?
Well, every time we tried it, it hasn't worked, right? John Kerry didn't get elected. We ended up with Scott Brown the second time. So I think just leave it alone. The fact is, if Biden wins, then the Democrats win the Senate. And Elizabeth Warren should not resign till the day she's sworn in as vice president. And then within 145 to 160 days, we'll have an election. And Charlie Baker's not going to appoint some Trump person. That's just not what he's going to do, whether he runs for re-election or not. So let's just leave the rules as they are, and let's see how this goes.